Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 44, I think. And yeah, hands up, I apologise. We forgot to check our finances and popularity at the end of the last one. So we're going to start by looking at our finances and popularity in this one. Oh, look at my mouse. What is it doing? There we go. And correct me if I'm wrong, although by the time you correct me, I will have probably already made a decision. But it looks like we're losing money by being in the Alliance now. So I've kind of crunched all these numbers, ignoring the performance because that's just what you get from the Alliance. But looking at here, it looks like we're losing money in the consortium by a few months. Obviously, there's the odd month where we don't. But yeah, it looks like we lost 157,000 by being in the Alliance Consortium. So I think what I'm going to do, now that we're medium, I think we're going to leave the Alliance. So I'm just going to do it and we'll see what happens. So this is us. We are going to resign. Yes. And we're done. So if we go to Alliances, we are now no longer part of this alliance. These four guys can just chill on their own and make money. Looking at our size, we are 63 in Southern England. The next goal is 77 in all mainland British regions. So of course, Scotland, Ireland, Wales have got some time. Well, we really do need to catch up with them. So I think I'm going to stick with the plan that I had initially, which is build up some cash, start our own broadcaster, and make it big in the UK, because that's our focus. So it can be tiny everywhere else, or just none everywhere else. And so wait, size criteria. So what's the next one? Large. Achieve and also 71 throughout the regions of Europe. So in all honesty, UK, so Britain and Europe are what matter the most. So yeah, we'll make it big in Britain, medium, whatever, small in Europe, tiny, insignificant everywhere else. And that should help us get from medium to big, because obviously Ireland, Wales, Scotland, we're going to need to boost them up a bit. And I don't really feel like travelling to them because there's such a gulf in the popularity. It might affect our shows. So I'm happy to just continue doing our shows in Southern England and Southern England only for the time being. But yeah, eventually we want to get to a point where all of these are nice and high. But yeah, I think that's everything to look at for now. Actually, while I'm here, let me show you the London Siren title. So yeah, here are our champions. We've got Drew, we've got Chazbets and Phantasma, we've got Pac as our London's own, we've got our Prince champion, Ricky Knight Jr., Rini Yamashita, and then our London Siren champion, who is vacant. But look at that beautiful belt. Oh, good old Bing AI, or as it's now called, was it Copilot or something? Either way, lovely belt. But yeah, I'm going to end that here. Let's jump straight into the first LLW show of March, where the London Siren Championship tournament, it's a bit of a mouthful, continues. See you guys in a sec. And here we are for Lariat League in London in this episode, the first show in March, and we kick off straight away with the main show. No pre-show pissing about here. We open with Pac's London's own Open Challenge, and Leon Slater is this week's challenger, or should we say victim, because in a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Pac defeats Leon Slater in a London's own match by 3 falls to none, making defense number 4 of his LLW London's own championship. Pac with an 89, Leon Slater with a 73, got the show off to a strong start. There was a lack of psychology, but that's absolutely fine. An 80 rating to kick off today's show. Following on from this is our next tournament round match, and it is between Megan Bain and L.A. Taylor. And in a decent match, Megan Bain gets the win by 1 fall to nothing against L.A. Taylor. Megan Bain with a 71, nice, and L.A. Taylor with a 45. continuing to get the crowd hotter. That means that Megan Bain advances, and she is now in the last member in the three-way semi-final between herself, Saraya Knight Jr. and Charlie Evans. One of those three women will go on to LLW Tempest to face the winner of the other three-way for the London Siren Championship. After this, though, I believe we have another match. Yeah, very match heavy at the beginning. And it's a debut of a new tag team. Kilted Chaos. The team of Jack Morris and Hanson. Don't ask me why I put them together. Don't ask me why I called them Kilted Chaos. It kind of makes sense. And in a decent match, Kilted Chaos get the win. They defeat Chris Brooks and Drew Parker in just over 15 minutes when Jack Morris pins Drew Parker with the Tiger Driver. Chris Brooks carried the match in terms of performance, and Hanson was the weak link. We need to get Hanson out of that WWE style and into the LLW style. Hopefully, he'll come around soon, and hopefully, Jack Morris too can get slightly better numbers, because 58 is not good, my dude. But yeah, an 80 from Chris Brooks, though. My guy. Let's just take a look at the debut. So we have Hanson here using the Raider gimmick. Extremely marketable, but a large penalty to psychology. And then we've got Jack Morris, who is using his Sublime every time gimmick. Got a rating of poor, which sucks. But hey-ho, we'll tweak that as and when. But yeah, a new tag team merging for LLW, because I think our division's kind of thin, but it's getting bigger as we continue. Nice 70 rating, though. I will take that. Following on from this, though, we get a little promo video with Syndicate, just kind of showing off the talents of the group. So you've got Will Ospreay, of course, you know, one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world, even in 2026. We've got Lycos and Lycos Jr., a super dynamic tag team. And then we've got Callum Newman, super young, super talented. He is the protege of Will Ospreay. And if that means anything, it means that he's probably going to be a star at some point in the future. So yeah, and during this promo package, Will Ospreay just gives a little dig to the global empire, saying, you know, Anoa'i says that he's bringing the best in the world to LLW. Well, I've done that in one night, mate, and we're already the biggest team in the company. So yeah, a little dig there at Anoa'i. So it seems like the Osprey Anoa'i beef is set to continue, but Will Ospreay is in action tonight. He is in our main event in one-on-one action against the returning Shun Skywalker. But following on from this, though, is our final first round match in the London Siren Championship tournament. It is Aisha Ray, our former Queen of the Lariat League, taking on May Sarat, who went on a ridiculously long loss streak, and in recent times has said, I am no longer losing, I am no longer a stepping stone, and this, we believe, is her opportunity to prove that point. Let's find out what happens. A 70 rating, about that, had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It is May Sarat that gets the win against former Queen of the Lariat League, Aisha Ray, in a London Siren match by 1-0, and that fall came in the 18th minute. So May Sarat once again proving that she can back up what she says. So she advances into that three-way semi-final, and in that match is May Sarat, Rio, and Sapphire Reed. So yeah, one of these 6 women from the previous three-way as well will become our next London Siren champion. Before we head to the main event, Joe Anoa'i has just asked for a quiet word with William Regal, and he just says, you know, hey, about that King's title match, I think we should do it at Tempest. And Regal says, whoa, like, hold your horses, my dude. You just need to relax. Like, I get that you want a title shot, but you still need to prove yourself. We'll set something up in the next couple of weeks to decide who will be facing Drew Galloway at Tempest. But, you know, you just need to relax a little bit. How about you just sit back and watch this main event, which is happening right now. And as mentioned earlier, is Will Ospreay taking on Shun Skywalker. Hopefully, keeping everything crossed that it's going to be one hell of a match. So let's see what goes down. An 81, I'll take it. Not enough selling shown apparently, because neither of these guys want to look weak, but an 87 from Ospreay, an 85 from Shun Skywalker. Bro, work on your selling, and this could have been a 5-star match. But in a bout that had superb wrestling to end our show, Will Ospreay gets the win in just under 25 minutes with the Storm Breaker. Osprey's got a hot new move. Skywalker's got a hot new move. Hot new moves everywhere. And Will Ospreay is celebrating, and post-match, he grabs the mic and calls out Joe Anoa'i. He says, "You want a King's title shot? You, my friend, are no contender. You're just a pretty boy with a big following. And if you don't like that, the ring's right here, mate. The ring is right here." And Joe Anoa'i is just standing there looking pissed. You know, he's been called out by this new guy, Will Ospreay. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in the next show if Anoa'i responds. And, of course, what he says if he does respond. But we are closing this show with Will Ospreay calling out Joe Anoa'i. And we get a 79. Nice, I'll take it. Very match heavy. Some of these women's matches are obviously bringing the score down a little bit. But to be fair, not so much here. We've got a 70 and a 60. Will Ospreay really needs to work on his promos, though. I'm not going to lie. His entertainment and mic skills are shit. So, you know, we might have to go in the old database and bump that up a little bit. But for now, the matches are speaking for themselves. You know, 80, 70, 70, 81, and a 60 for a company that's only rated 63 technically in popularity. So I'll take that. And we will continue on to the next show where in the main event Ricky Knight Jr. Is following in... Oh, sorry, I had a burp then. But Ricky Knight Jr. is following in Pac's footsteps and says, you know what, he's not the only one that can do a open challenge. So the main event of the next show will be a Prince's title open challenge. And we have just received word that Joe Anoa'i is opening the show and has something to say. So yeah, let's go ahead and book that, and we'll see what happens in the next one. So I will see you guys in a moment. Okay, and here we are at the Copper Box Arena in front of just under 5,000 people, where Joe Anoa'i opens this show, and he is with his boys. I mean, we can't fit them all on the screen, and he has called out Will Ospreay, who comes out with his syndicate brethren. And they are face to face in the ring. 5 on Joe's side, because Colby Corino's there as well. We just couldn't fit him in. And 4 on Will Ospreay's side. And Joe Anoa'i sets a challenge for Will Ospreay. He says, "You think that I'm not a deserving contender, and you seem to think that you're better than me. You seem to think that your boys are better than my boys. So how about we face off? Just me, just you, one-on-one. Let's do it right now." And obviously the crowd are heated, the crowd are into it. Will Ospreay says, "You know, I'd happily fight you any day of the week, Joe, but it seems like you're ignoring the rest of us. Syndicate are a team. Yours is more of a bunch of slaves following a man with greasy hair. So why is it that you just want to face me and you don't want to face Syndicate? Do you fear the Syndicate?" And of course Joe responds, says he doesn't fear the Syndicate, but he just has a problem with Ospreay and Ospreay alone. And if that is going to get him his King's title shot, then he will go through him. And of course there's a lot more bickering. You know, Chaz gets on the mic, El Hijo gets on the mic, Lycos and Lycos Jr. start doing stuff. Madoka Kakuta gets a little bit angry, throws a chop at Callum Newman, and an all-out brawl happens in the middle of the ring. 5-on-4. Massive assault. It doesn't seem like either team is getting the upper hand, really. There's just, you know, limbs going everywhere. And of course, in LLW, we like a little bit of order. We do not enjoy chaos. So William Regal just goes, "Oi, oi, 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 whoa, whoa," you know, uses his big, boisterous, regal tone and says that this will end now. We do not have bickering. We do not have brawling. We have matches. And Joe, you and your empire seem to be, you know, pretty happy being an empire and calling yourselves the best in this company. Ospreay, you've recently come in and you and your syndicate claim to be the best in this company. Well, next week we are going to host a special event, and that event is called Faction Warfare. Joe, your 5 members against Osprey's 5 members. Details will follow soon. And of course the crowd are like, "Oh shit, impromptu special event, let's fucking do this, whoa." And yeah, so we're going to have a special event, Faction Warfare, where it is the entire card is Anoa'i Global versus Syndicate. And you guys are probably thinking, hold on, 5-on-5? And of course, Joe Anoa'i picks up on this as well. Of course, we fit Colby Corino in now. Just to remind you guys, he's the 5th member. New Blood are part of the Empire, but they're very much just there because they have to be. So they've got no real allegiance to Joe Anoa'i. Anoa'i says, you know what, I'm down for that. But little thing, William, the numbers don't seem to add up. There's 5 of us. 7, 8, if you include all Empire members. But there's only 4 of the Syndicate losers. To which William Regal is like, oh, I've miscalculated. Whoops. But Ospreay says, whoa. Don't you worry, Joe. Do not worry. We do have more members of the Syndicate. You just don't know about them. So it is official. Faction warfare will happen in the next episode. And details of what faction warfare is will follow at the end of this show. We're going to have a little graphic pop up and we're going to read through the rules together. But yeah, that is a heated opening to this show. It seems like they've come to blow very quickly. And yeah, hopefully faction warfare works the way that I kind of want it to. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we've had some crazy numbers to open the show. But we are now heading in the ring. You know, the dust has settled. All of these guys are pissed off. And we've got a special trios match here. The 6 remaining women in the London Siren Championship tournament are all thrown together in trios action. So we've got the team of Megan Bain, Saraya Knight Jr. and Rio taking on Charlie Evans, May Sarat and Sapphire Reed. And in a pretty good match that had a decent reaction from the crowd, it is the team of Evans, Sarat and Reed who defeat Megan Bain, Saraya Knight Jr. and Rio in 17 minutes when Charlie Evans pins Saraya Knight with a swipe left. Saraya furious that she got the pin, you know, especially because she was the one advocating for this title with Charlie Evans. It seems like there's a little bit of tension between them, which I'm sure will come to blow in their 3-way match, which will be not the next show because we've got Faction Warfare, but the show after that. But yeah, it looks like Evans, Sarat and Reed all have momentum going into their semi-final matches, whereas Bain, Saraya Knight and Rio probably have a little bit more work to do. But looking at the numbers though, I'm pretty happy with all of these. Sapphire Reed with a 64, that's mostly let down because she's got no popularity. May Sarat 68, Charlie Evans 69, Rio with a 65, Saraya Knight doing well with a 67, and Megan Bain leading the line with a 73. Got the crowd buzzing, and apparently it was a little too short for an important match. I'll take that. Following on from this though, we've got some singles action. It is Dan Maloney as he takes on and defeats Taishi Ozawa with the World Star in just under 19 minutes. And post-match, Dan Maloney grabs the mic and calls out Bobby Guns. He says, one-on-one at Tempest. I've already spoken to Regal. He's happy. All we need is Bobby Guns to approve. And I'm assuming, based on how loudmouthed and confident he seems, he's not going to say no. So, Bobby, I will see you at LLW Tempest, and I'm going to beat my name out of your mouth. So that is our first official match confirmed for LLW Tempest. It will be Dan Maloney taking on Bobby Guns, and hopefully this will be a pretty good match. Following on from this though, we've got some tag team action, and it is the team of Spike Trevay and Charlie Sterling, who did pretty well in the pre-show a few episodes ago as they defeat Sunshine Machine in 17 minutes when Charlie Sterling pins TK Cooper with a spiral tap. You know, stringing these tag team wins is always good for a potential LLW Knights Championship match down the line. Of course, Sunshine Machine have had their chance, so they are now bottom of the barrel and they have to work their way up if they want another one. But yeah, we've got quite a few fun, interesting tag teams all coming through the ranks in LLW, so we'll have to wait and see who will be challenging El Hijo del Fantasma and Chaz Betts at Tempest, if they are, because of course Faction Warfare is on the horizon and they are both involved in that. After this though, we've got a little backstage segment with Colby Corino as he kind of just explains why he's aligned with Joe Anoa'i and the Global Empire, and he says that under Anoa'i's tutelage, experience and, you know, power, he will get his revenge on Ricky Knight Jr. But for now, the focus is on Will Ospreay and Syndicate. But Colby Corino says that he'll be watching the main event closely because, of course, Ricky Knight Jr. is in our main event and he is taking on whoever accepts the challenge, and that is Tate Mayfairs. And in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Ricky Knight Jr. makes his 4th defense of the LLW Princess title as he defeats Tate Mayfairs in just under 22 minutes with the 450 splash. An 80 rated performance from Ricky Knight Jr., a 59 from Tate Mayfairs. Kind of just wanted to get Tate in a bigger match just to see how he does. And a 76 overall. And that is our main event. But that's not all, because Ricky Knight Jr. grabs the microphone and says, Colby, you said you want revenge. Well, you're not going to have to wait long, my boy, because I am Syndicate's 5th man. And then he just drops the mic and walks out. So yeah, big news. Ricky Knight Jr. is the 5th member of Syndicate. Is he just a temporary member or is he full-time? We'll have to wait and see. But that means that Will Ospreay's team are filled for Faction Warfare next week. So let's just finish the show and see how we did. 78, again, very happy with that. As long as we're averaging 70 plus, I think that's kind of the route we want to be going down. So yeah, awesome show. Really strong opening. There's some great matches here. All of them, kind of surpassing what I thought they'd do. But the big news out of this is Faction Warfare. And the rules of that I'm about to pop up now. And here they are. So we have just received news on what Faction Warfare is and what the rules are about it. So Faction Warfare is a standalone event where 2 factions will face off in a gauntlet style match. So the leaders of each faction will begin in the ring and faced 1-on-1. So we will kick off the show with Joe Anoa'i versus Will Ospreay. Each match has a 20-minute time limit. The first person to pin or submit their opponent will stay on, and a random member of the other team will come in to take their place, and we will continue until there is a winner. So a time limit draw, so if we do reach the 20 minutes, it does result in both members being eliminated, making way for the next members of each faction to come in and start the next bout. The winning faction, of course, will be the team whose members outlast the other faction within this gauntlet. And should we make it to the final members of each faction, the time limit is removed so that we have a definite winner. And as an added stipulation, of which William Regal has added himself, which, Joanna Awaii is not happy about because he wanted a title shot at Tempest. William Regal says that just having a Faction Warfare event is not enough for these guys. I want to find out who a definitive best faction is. And I feel like we need to settle this properly. So the winning faction at Faction Warfare will get to choose the stipulation for a 5-on-5 match that will take place at LLW Tempest. Hopefully this pays off because I'm very excited about this. But yeah, those are the rules ahead of Faction Warfare. So it will be Joe Anoa'i's Global Empire, so that'll be Joe Anoa'i, Madoka Kakuta, Chaz Betts, El Hijo del Fantasma, and Colby Corino taking on Will Ospreay, Lycos Jr., Callum Newman, and Ricky Knight Jr. That will be the 5 men. The order of the other 4, who knows? But we will kick off that show with Will Ospreay and Joe Anoa'i. And that is happening in the next episode. So yeah, very excited. Let me know your predictions, what you think is going to go down, and what kind of stipulation either team might pick in their 5-on-5 match. But for now, we'll end it here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and of course, I will see you all in the next one.